Hey, it's Brian LaRosa with LaRosa's Trains. Today we're going to take a look at what I think is, by far, the most beautiful train on my layout. It's the Lionel Corporation Tinplate 3-rail O-gauge 263E Blue Comet set from MTH. Okay, let's start off with some history on this engine, and then we'll get to the reproduction. The 263E steam engine was originally made by Lionel between 1936 and 1939 in several different paint schemes, but the most famous of them all was the Blue Comet. And then the Blue Comet was originally offered as a set with three 600 series passenger cars, and then the Blue Comet was originally cataloged as 283W, where the W refers to the whistle that was inside the tender. Now, Lionel also made a standard gauge version of the Blue Comet between 1935 and 1939, and the engine that headed the set was the 400E, which was the largest standard gauge steam engine ever built. And even in today's hobby, the 400E is still the most iconic locomotive in Lionel's standard gauge line. Now, both the standard gauge and O-gauge Blue Comet are based on the real-life Blue Comet of the Jersey Central Railroad, which ran between Jersey City and Atlantic City. Okay, let's get to the reproduction version of the Blue Comet. Now, like I said at the start of the video, this set is made by MTH, not Lionel. Now, I know some of you are new to tinplate trains, and you may be thinking that it sounds awkward since MTH is naturally a competitor to Lionel. Well, it is what it is, and you'll just have to accept that. Now, don't get me wrong, because the Lionel corporate tinplate line is not the first time MTH offers Lionel tinplate trains, because back in 1987 or so, MTH once subcontracted Lionel for the same purpose, and essentially MTH manufactured the tinplate trains, whereas Lionel actually marketed them in its own catalog. And this project for these trains was called Lionel Classics, and the project lasted for only a few years. But of course, after MTH broke up with Lionel in the early 90s, it began its own independent product line called Tinplate Traditions. And the Tinplate Traditions trains look nice in their own way, but there is only one problem with them, because MTH could not put the Lionel logos on them without a license, and so instead they had to put their own MTH logos on them. In 2009, however, MTH successfully got the license from Lionel, so they can put Lionel logos on these tinplate trains, so that the reproductions would look as accurate as possible. And these are the products that you see today. You can get these beautiful looking tinplate trains as if they were brand new during the years prior to World War II. The Lionel corporate tinplate O-gauge Blue Comet was first offered in MTH's 2009 Lionel tinplate catalog, and was originally equipped with MTH's Protosound 2 system. And in fact, that's my engine, by the way. And interestingly, not only the Blue Comet is almost 10 years old, but that the whole Lionel Corporation Tinplate line was formed almost 10 years ago. So what an amazing coincidence. However, there is the latest rendition of the 263E steam engine, which is equipped with the newer Protosound 3 sound system, and this was most recently cataloged in the 2016 catalog, and then it showed up to dealers in June of 2018. One thing I do like about the MTH Tinplate trains is that oftentimes many of them are offered in two different options. The first option is the contemporary version, which basically offers the same sounds and the same digital functionality as in all the other MTH engines made over the years. And while the 21st century electronics is inside the engine, everything on the outside is entirely pre-war, and that's the most important part of the contemporary version, is pure pre-war. However, the other option is the traditional version, which is geared more to some folks who want to go old school. And unlike the contemporary version, the inside of the engine is actually pre-war style, and it contains the old school mechanical parts, such as the build-a-loco motor and the mechanical reversing unit. And so the traditional version does contain pre-war on both the outside and the inside. And that's a good thing in my opinion, because some hobbyists, particularly older hobbyists, can be intimidated by all those newfangled digital electronics, and so they would prefer instead the nostalgia of the way trains used to be operated back in the pre-war period. Now, I'm only in my early 20s, but if I see a Tinplate engine available in two options, I would prefer the traditional option for the same reason: the nostalgia of the pre-war trains. As for the 2016 Lionel Tinplate catalog, all of the Tinplate trains in this catalog look very nice, but I do have one concern about that catalog. You know, almost all of the Tinplate engines available in this catalog are available only as contemporary versions, although I believe that there is only one Tinplate item that is not command controlled, which is the number 214 armored motorcar outfit. But other than that, all the other Tinplate engines are available only as contemporary versions. So there are no traditional versions available in this catalog. Now, why did MTH do that? I have no idea. I don't work for MTH, so I can't explain the exact reason. If I have to guess, then my best educated guess is that, you know, MTH has been focusing heavily on its new Wi-Fi DCS phone app, so that you can run trains with your smartphone or your tablet. And the app does have the capability to run trains that are not command controlled, like the the original pre-war engines or the post-war engines or some of the early modern era engines. So the app does allow you to do that, but you have to install what is called the premium app, the premium version of the app, to access this feature. However, at the time MTH put out the 2016 Tinplate catalog, they didn't have the premium version of the app available. So that's just my personal guess. But now that MTH put out the already put out the premium version of the app, I strongly hope that MTH should bring back the traditional models, hopefully in the 2018 catalog. And even though the premium version of the app can allow you to run conventional engines, there are still quite a lot of MTH customers who are not necessarily into smartphone technology and would rather want to go old school and use a traditional transformer or something to run a traditional style Tinplate engines. Now, I actually do have the premium version installed in the app on my phone. But anyway, so that's all the thoughts I have about the MTH Tinplate trains. And now let's get to the engine features. Let's start with some physical features around this engine. The engine and the tender measure 20 3/4 inches, and the construction of this engine is entirely made of metal, which is the famous part about pre-war trains, is that the construction is almost entirely made of metal, and there's very little, if any, material that's not metal. Well, probably the headlight lens would be the only part that's not metal, but other than that, everything else in this engine is entirely made of metal. And then the minimum required curve needed to operate this engine is 0.31. Under the hood, this engine is equipped with one flywheel motor, which is responsible with speed control. This engine also has the operating smoke unit in the smoke box portion. I'll get to that in a little bit. And the most important part inside the engine is the MTH ProtoSound 2 sound system with digital command system. So there are 2 or 3 ways to operate this engine. The preferred method is to run this engine with MTH's DCS system, which allows you to unlock the full potential of the so-called advanced features. However, if you don't have DCS, you can run this engine conventionally with just a traditional transformer. On the ProtoSound 3 version of this engine, there is the onboard DCC decoder, so that you can run this engine in a different control system called digital command control. Although DCC is more common in 2-rail O-gauge than in 3-rail, but just want to point out that the PS3 version does have the DCC decoder on board. Here's a look at the front of the engine. Now, there aren't too many features in this shot, but that's what a typical pre-war steam engine has. Of course, the main feature at the front is the headlight. And now if this engine were a ProtoSound 3 model, it would have the LED, the more efficient LED light inside. But in this case, my engine is a a PS2 engine, so it has the incandescent light inside. But anyway, and then we got these marker lights or classification lights, you name them. Now, I don't think that they actually work on this engine, but again, this is just a pre-war style engine. And then there is no coupler at the front either, which is another thing a pre-war engine that does not have. Now, it should be noted that the boiler front does open to reveal the light bulb in case you need to replace the bulb inside. Now, I'm not going to open the boiler front of the engine in this video, but if you want to open the boiler front of this engine, please read the instructions that come with this engine. And then finally, I don't know if you could see it in this camera quality, but there is of course, the famous builder's plate that says, "Made by Lionel Corporation, New York." Here's a look at the firebox section of this engine. First off, we got another metal plate that says 263E Lionel lines. And then behind this firebox plate, if you look very carefully, you can see this red light which is used to simulate the firebox glow on this engine. I will definitely show that to you when I start this engine up later in this video. Here's a look at the cab portion of the engine, and if I shine a flashlight in here, there's nothing inside the cab, but that's pretty typical for a pre-war engine like this one. And perhaps the only feature in this engine is this wire to connect between the engine and the tender, which is where the PS2 electronics are located. Now, if this engine were a PS3 engine, it would not have this ugly looking wire. Instead, it would have this wireless drawbar, and that would be a more convenient thing. The tender is also beautiful, as is the engine itself. First up, we got the beautiful looking Lionel logo. On the top of the tender, we got this walkway with a water hatch, and then at the back of the tender is the ladder, and down here is the main feature, which is the pre-war style box coupler. And because this engine is a contemporary version, it does have the MTH proto coupler, so that you can uncouple the engine automatically if you want to. Here's a look at the underside of the tender, and this is where the engine controls are located. This control knob is for the master volume control, and the other control is for the smoke volume control. And because this is a PS2 engine, there's also a battery charging port for the PS2 battery inside the tender. Now, if this engine were a PS3 engine, it would not have the battery charging port because all PS3 engines do not have the battery inside, and the PS3 version may or may not have a switch that toggles between DCS and DCC. And then these holes are where the speaker for the sound system is located. And then lastly, we got a single pickup roller on the first truck of the tender for good solid electrical contact with the third rail. Alright, that takes care of the engine. Now let's move on to the 2600 series passenger cars. This ad has 4 passenger cars. The first car is a baggage car. The second and third cars are the coach cars or Pullman cars. And then the last car in the set is an observation car. And just like the engine, they are almost entirely made of metal. So you can hardly find anything that's not metal. And the paint job is also very well done. And they also have the nickel trim. And each car measures about 12 3/4 inches. And just like the engine, the minimum required curve needed to run these cars is 0.31. Here's a look at the baggage car. Now, there's not a whole lot to see in the baggage car, but there are some interesting features. This is the 2615 baggage car, and there is an interesting feature, which are the baggage doors, and they do open on both sides. And there are the other 2 on both sides. Let's open one. And then another. Pretty cool. Here's a look at the 2613 Pullman coach car. And as you can see, it looks very well done. Now the doors do not open, but nonetheless, this one looks very nice. And then on the windows, there are some inserts inside, I believe. So that would be one of a few things that are not metal. Here's another Pullman coach car, which is pretty identical to the other one I showed you. It's entirely identical. The 2614 observation car is pretty much identical to the coach cars I already showed you, but of course the major difference is this back platform of this car. The last feature we're gonna look at before we get to the underside of each car are these box couplers, and these are the couplers that you would typically find in a pre-war engine or pre-war or rolling stock. Now, the older pre-war piece of rolling stock used to have the latch couplers, and if I could show you one example nearby, this is one of the all original pre-war engines that I have, and this is the latch coupler, which was common on older pre-war engines. But then the later phase of the coupler are these box couplers. And these are the couplers that you would see on pre-war trains. At that time, Lionel did not perfect the more modern knuckle coupler, which is of course more realistic. But they just couldn't perfect the coupler until the post-war period. So it's just the technology that Lionel was still working on. And now to couple the cars together with the box couplers, just line those hooks up, and they are coupled like that. And to uncouple them, it's just as easy. You just lift both box couplers with your fingers, and there you go. Now you can also uncouple these cars with an uncoupling track section. Here's a look under one of the passenger cars, and under each passenger car there are two pickup rollers, one in each truck, and the interior, by the way, is illuminated, so that's why there are pickup rollers underneath each car. And then there's also the contact shoe underneath each truck that has a coupler, and this allows you to uncouple them with the uncoupling track section. And so the pickup shoe is only for the trucks that have couplers. Perhaps the only truck that does not have the coupler is this truck, because we're looking at the underside of the observation car. The rear of the observation car does not have a coupler, but again, this is what a typical pre-war item looks like. The last thing I want to show you before I start running the Blue Comet are the two boxes where the set is delivered in. The engine is packed in this lovely orange and cream box, which is the design used for the Lionel corporate tinplate trains, and as you can see, it does look pre-war style, and so very beautiful graphics. And I believe that the boy in this package is Joshua Lionel Cowan, the founder of Lionel. And as many of you know, he founded the business as a young man in his early 20s. And then the 2600 series passenger set are packed in another box, which is the Tinplate Traditions box, and it looks very nice, and it even has the same MTH logo that you would find in a Premier O-scale box. In fact, I do have a couple Premier engines in my fleet, but the main difference between the Tinplate Traditions box and the Premier line box is that it has a somewhat a darker shade of purple, and then it's brighter at towards the core of the logo. But as you move away, it fades into a darker purple, a pretty blackish color. So both of these boxes look very beautiful. Now, some of you may be asking me, hey Brian, why was your blue Comet set delivered in two mismatched box designs? Well, at first I thought both the engine and the cars were delivered as two separate items. But I did some research about them. The product number from the purple box is 10-8009, and when I looked up the MTH website, they did make the 2600 series passenger set in two-tone blue back in 2004 or so. In contrast, on the orange and cream box, the product number for the engine is 11-6004-1E, and when I looked up the MTH website for that product number, I found out that it was actually intended to be sold as a set. Now, because my birthday is coming up later this month, my mom and dad wanted to make a down payment on this set, which was available in stock at Train Depot, which is a train store up in Mount Airy. And then just last weekend, my dad went up there to pick up the train set, and while he was there, he was told an interesting story. About less than a year ago, the guys at Train Depot found out that there's been a roof leakage in the service area of the store, and so the leakage caused some damage to the trains and some other items in the event of a rainstorm. And so I'm guessing that the orange and cream box that the passenger cars could have been packed in was probably damaged by the roof leakage. And so for that reason, the Train Depot guys would have to move the passenger cars to the purple box instead. Now, I'm not saying that I'm critical of these boxes. I mean, I love both designs of the boxes. I mean, I was only confused about whether this train was sold as a set. But like I said, I looked up the product number of the engine according to the orange and cream box. And again, it was intended to be sold as a set. So it's not a deal breaker. I love both box designs. They're just simply colorful. Okay, now comes the fun part, is the action. So I'm gonna start this engine up, let you hear some of the sounds, and run around my layout.
Let's get a steam. We got a petrol to keep. Drop those dead cold. Grab a shovel and spread out that coal. Check on that water level, will you? Water level's down 6 feet. Swing that spout over. Okay. Jump up to the side rods, will you?
This is the engine startup sequence, by the way. Actually the extended startup sequence. So first up, let's hear this nice whistle. And let's listen to the bell.
Take a look at the general order.
Let's play some of the cab chatter available on this engine. Well, my favorite sound effects are some of the station stops. So let's listen to a few of them.
Welcome to Relay. This stop is Ellicott City. This stop is Sykesville.
I don't think the Blue Comet ever run through the state of Maryland, but oh well. The sounds are just fun anyway.
This stop is Ellicott City. This stop is Sykesville. Welcome to Frederick.
So that's about all the sounds that I could play for you, but I'm going to save the rest of the sound effects when we do the passenger freight announcement sequence. Okay, let's make the engine go, and we'll run this around my layout. Okay, let's listen to the passenger freight announcement sequence on this engine.
Now arriving on track 1 from Baltimore, train number 48. Welcome to Frederick.
Watch your step, please. Have a nice day. Thank you. Welcome aboard. Ticketed passengers only. Let me help you with your baggage. Porter, thank you. takeoff signal. Let's get down the line. Okay, set it off. I want to blow her down now. Clear? Clear. Take care. See you soon.
Alright, that about wraps up for this review. This is a gorgeous train set that I'm extremely happy to own. And it was actually given to me as a birthday surprise from my mom and dad, so I'm giving them a very special thanks. And for a while I've been thinking about owning the Blue Comet, but not too long ago I was being rather cost conscious, and I'm still happy with what I have even without the Blue Comet, but after the Blue Comet arrived on my layout, the layout feels even better to me. And I gotta say that the Blue Comet is sort of the beauty queen of the hobby, in my opinion, because as many of you know, the standard gauge 400E is the favorite of Mike Wolf, who is founder and president of MTH Trains. And for that reason, the illustration of the 400E was colored in two-tone blue, and it was incorporated into the official MTH logo. And so overall, the Blue Comet is considered to be one of the most iconic trains in the history of model railroading. So again, a very special thanks to my mom and dad for thinking how much I love the Blue Comet. If you're interested in purchasing the Protoson 3 version of the 263E, the retail price on this item is just under $500, and there are 7 versions of the 263 available in the 2016 Tinplate catalog. There's the Blue Comet version. Actually, there are 2 of them. One with the nickel trim, as shown in this video, and one with the brass trim on it. There is also a black version, a gray version, a Union Pacific version, a Norfolk and Western version, and an orange and blue version. Now, please note that the passenger set, 2600 series passenger set, is sold separately from the engine. So if you're interested in purchasing one of the 4-car passenger sets, they retail for almost $430. And there are 5 sets available to match with 5 out of the 7 engines listed in the catalog. So for the passenger sets, there are 2 versions of the Blue Comet, one in nickel trim and one with the brass trim. The Union Pacific version, the Norfolk and Western version, and the orange and blue version. While the prices mentioned in this video are retail prices, if you go through a kind Tinplate dealer, chances are you should be able to get a little bit of a discount off the retail price. Otherwise, please visit the MTH website to find out which dealers have both the engine and the passenger sets of your choice available in stock. Additionally, all of the items listed are currently marked buy now on the same website, so you can purchase them online if you want to. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm Brian LaRosa, and I'll see you next time.